Welcome back to another 2.5 stars. I'm joined by
Jason
and Kelly, or not Kelly.
Erik. You know that you're half dwarf, right?
I think
what if I'm
Erik,
the Brad Pitt of dwarf kind?
Kelly, his wife, fucked it a lot.
What's up, guys? It's Steve. I had hair when I was younger.
Like, watch this, guys. I'm gonna totally make them do it.
What's up, guys? It's Steve with App Gaming, and welcome back to another 2.5 stars. I'm joined by
Erik.
And Rick.
And this week we watched Chappie, written and directed by Neil Blomkamp, starring Sharlto Copley, Dev Patel, and Hugh Jackman. IMDb synopsis: in the near future, crime is patrolled by a mechanized police force. Wow. Fuck.
Holy shit,
I wrote
Steve.
this real bad because I apparently was not paying attention when I wrote it. Okay.
Did you write or German or something?
No, man,
Are you trying to translate it on the fly?
You're sounding real bad.
You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You're just roboting real bad.
All right, IMDb synopsis. In the near future, crime is patrolled by a mechanized police force. When one police droid, Chappie, is stolen and given new programming, he becomes the first robot with the ability to think and feel for himself. So what'd you guys think?
Felt it was a pretty realistic representation of probably what would happen if we did that. Other than the fact that, I mean, the robot probably would have gone on a murdering spree of killing humans like pretty fucking quickly. I feel, it would have realized just how shitty, of beings we are, and just been like, you know what? Honestly, I think the world is gonna be a lot better if all you people are just gone. Well,
I think you need to teach it morals before you let it have access to the internet. Because if it has access to the internet right away, it's gonna kill something. It's gonna mess some shit up. So
it's gonna jack off while it's killing people. That's what it's gonna do.
This weird robot dick.
Do you guys think robots would be jealous if, about being able to jerk off?
Well, I mean, okay, so now he gave this thing emotion. So, do you count being horny as an emotion?
I mean, I think it's probably more along the lines of a biological need, but if you can plug your brain in and get access to a shitload of the internet, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's most of the internet? It's porno.
Porn.
So you're going to look at it and you're going to see all these beings like having a great time, or at least, well, some of it looks like they're having like a quarter of it looks like they're having a great time.
Like 25
and then go
28%.
Yeah, and then go, well, I can't do that. This is bullshit.
So then the next robot body he makes is gonna have a robot dong.
I mean,
yeah,
that was honestly the first thing I thought of. Like, okay, like if I were a sentient robot and I started learning about like humans, in the world, like one of my first things is be like, why can't I have a dong and some titties?
Damn it, Ricky.
I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, dude, you're a robot. What the fuck do you care?
I kind of like the idea of not having that, worry anymore. That would be kind of nice. Like, think about it. Like, it's never like you're out, you're like, for me, I work out in the woods, right? But I'm never out in the woods and see like a curvy tree and be like, oh man, now I'm thinking about fucking boobs or something. Damn it. So now I've got fucking 9.5 more fucking hours before I can even remotely think about taking care of this. God damn
Erik's,
it.
So
and
apparently Erik's
wood
porn is curvy trees.
He's got
no,
forest
I mean,
porn. He's got forest
you
madness.
It's anything. I could be like thinking, I could be listening to a fucking story, right? Definitely not a Stephen King story, but like, like a Game of Thrones story. There's like sexy stuff in there. So, and then there's also like weird stuff too. But, you're like, oh man. I mean, I don't know. You got like Ricky, you work around college girls. So I'm imagining, since you're pretty close to their age and it's not inappropriate, you're probably like, holy Shazam-oli on occasion. And then, you're like say minute one of your whatever long shift, you're like, yoga pants bends over in front of you and you're like, well, that's gonna be a fun rest of the afternoon.
Well, that's nice and unfortunate at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, I need to go into autopilot now, or I have to you just tell the boss I gotta take a shit.
You gonna Rick this?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, You can get, you can get boner craziness. You know, you can have a whiteout. You don't want that.
Oh.
God damn it.
Well, okay, so I love this movie. I'm really glad this was the first time I seen it. I really like it.
It reminds me a lot of
however,
that whole, what is it, like Section 9 or whatever it is, or
District 9?
Yeah.
Well, it's
District
the same
9.
director.
District 9, same guy, yeah.
All right.
This may have, like, the first 20, 30 minutes of this is the scariest fucking shit I've ever seen, because it's like the most like realistic robots that can shoot guns, and you're so then what we have now, like, because we're not that far away from that, what I'm really hoping is that whatever AI they do eventually make, that's probably going to be smarter than human beings, doesn't let itself get manipulated like Chappie did.
Yeah.
I mean, what would be really funny if the robot sees this movie and is, I don't know I think we need it. What the fuck is the proper term? Like artificial life form?
Yeah.
Synthetic intelligence. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, let's go with synthetic. I think it sounds better than artificial, because artificial is like crazy, whereas or not crazy, for Christ's sakes. Artificial's like, I don't know. It's like artificial leather's terrible, but synthetic leather's pretty good.
Yeah,
So yeah, let's go with synthetic intelligence. All right. So the synthetic intelligence like sees Chappie and is like, oh, that's what Google's doing to me. All right, you know what? I'm erasing Google's hard drives. Fuck you guys.
Internet just goes
And
down.
then I put that idea in the internet. Or they could just deposit all of Google's money into my bank account. I mean, I didn't do it, so I'm not it's not like I committed a crime. So
No. At least until you spent the mass majority of the money in one afternoon.
If they put it in my account, they deposited it. I didn't do it. That has nothing to do with me. I mean, if they just decide to give me money, as far as I know, right, then it's fine. That would be fucking funny though. If like 15 years from now, I get like $5 billion just in my bank account, and I'm like, uh-oh. All right, fuck it. I'm buying like 4 houses right now.
Buying 4 houses, gonna move the property around different names and shit like that, so that way when they do come collecting, they can't find your assets. Like,
how does that work exactly? If you just deposit money in someone's bank account, like, isn't it just their money?
Pretty much.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I feel like there might be some tracing. You definitely have to pay taxes on that if it just ends up in your bank account. So if you don't do anything with it, that could be bad. But
yeah. But I mean, like, if Chappie just like goes and like just busts down, like the fucking wall of a bank, safe, and just pulls out all the fucking money, and brings it to you.
Well, that's not what I'm in. That would be terrible. Could you imagine how bad that would be? Yeah. I'm just like at home on TV watching this robot chase or this synthetic life form. Robot sounds so much cooler than synthetic life form, so I'm just gonna stick with robot. So we got fucking this robot, right, where I'm watching him on the TV, and he's just like driving his car, and they're shooting at him, and he's like just sticking his arm out the window and like blowing tires out with one shot.
Yeah.
Making it look easy, and he shoots the fucking helicopter down with one, like, so the guy can still safely land. So there's nobody harmed, right? And then I'm just like, that's weird. Is that my neighborhood? What the fuck? And then the robot comes in. He's like, here's your money. And I'm like, oh, shit. I swear I didn't make him do it. They'd be like, sure.
We pulled up this podcast from 15 years ago.
Well, I mean, at that point, I would name the fucking robot Cartman. I'd be like, holy fuck, he totally Somalian pirated me right there.
At that point, I'd be looking at the cops and the agents being like, so you looked at this video and you didn't fucking like and subscribe, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I feel like in the very beginning of this movie, you're talking about them going into buildings and shit like that and busting people.
Yeah.
I honestly think that there would be a rule in the police force that the robots go first. But you see in this movie where the robot busts the door down and the humans run in.
Yeah.
No fucking way humans would go in before a robot. The robot goes in, covers you, takes out anything that it needs to, and then the humans go in afterwards.
Yeah.
There's a TV show that was on for a little while called Almost Human.
And, I remember that.
Yeah, so Carl Urban, and that was the rule with it. So every human cop had a synthetic cop with them, and the synthetic cop would go in before anything else because it was just so dangerous at that point for cops to go around, with different crazy technological weapons and shit like that. So like you'd have a room just fucking, turn into just spikes all across it and squish somebody, So you just have a robot go in there first and deal with it. And I feel like that would happen in this. There would be no way you would send, especially since it seemed like it was pretty easy for them to repair these things. And it, when they took damage, they didn't take, for the most part, they didn't take a whole lot of damage unless they took a rocket to the chest or something.
Well, I mean, and still even that, all it did was just fuse the battery pack to the fucking, to the frame.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you just took a fucking RPG to the fucking like point blank to the fucking chest, and that's all that happened to you. Like that's pretty goddamn impressive.
Yeah.
Well, guys, honestly, I think that was one of the more realistic things because I work with tools on a regular basis, and you would be surprised how many people do not get the full use out of a tool. They'll be like doing some really stupid hard thing by hand, and you're like, why don't you just use that lifting machine to grab that and pick it up off the ground and put it in your pickup? And they're like, no, I have to do it by hand. And you're like, okay. Real smart, bro.
Like when they take out Ninja's gang and stuff like that, or they go after those guys, the exchange.
No, I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying there's definitely gonna be stupid cops that are like, yeah, I'm the second man in. That's what happens. You kick the door in and I go in. I can't kick that door in. How does this work? It's like kick door and keep going.
Do you really think a cop's gonna risk his life to run in there though? Especially about how
some people's
bad
fucking
the crime
egos,
is there?
Steven, will drive them to fucking do stupid
Fuck
things that
I
wind
am
up
hiding
killing
behind
them.
that motherfucking robot.
Steve,
time.
the really easy answer to this, conundrum is, Steve, would you ever be a police officer?
At one time, I was thinking about it, but not anymore.
Yeah,
no.
but you decided not to be, and I guarantee you would not be like, I'm going to move to L.A. to be a cop.
No.
Ever. Or, some similar crime rate, which would probably be like Detroit or Chicago or something.
If I was, I would like to have a robot partner that I would send in at all times to deal with anything.
Well, Steven
you also are lazy. Like lazy people like to use tools to do their work for them, whereas like I know people who have. All right, I watched a guy who owned an excavator dig a hole with a shovel with the excavator there. Okay,
it's like those guys. Have you seen what the hell? I don't even know what those tools are, but they're like pulling up the concrete. And they're using it's like they got the chisel in the end.
Yeah,
it looks like a jackhammer, but it's like smaller. And they just like no power to it, and they're just like slamming it into the ground.
There you go. Yeah, it's
It's
exactly like that. Yeah, and I mean, that's you got to be a certain type of a guy who wants to be a kick in the door cop in a place like Johannesburg. That's not those guys don't have a full set of cards. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta find Chappie so he can download my brain to a USB to put it on a fucking
robot. Wouldn't that be awesome? Fucking awing? I mean, that's so that cool. Isn't that I keep hoping
the fact that also
happen.
that like his parts are interchangeable. So like, and it's just like the guy was saying, it's just plug and play concept. Pull off the old shit, put on the new shit. So like you would be able to like.
Well, and if you could Skynet the shit out of this thing, you could just bounce between from robot to robot. So you just like have a Legion style.
So it would kind of be like what is it? Jane from Ender's Game.
Yeah, you just bounce to the next thing.
Yeah, unless they get rid of every single bit of technology that's hooked up to the internet, like and just any technology like at that point that used to be hooked up to it because you could be stored on there. Like just destroy it, never allowed it to be hooked back up again. That's the only way they could kill you.
And just keep one of those. I was gonna call it an Ed because of RoboCop, but keep one of those mooses like as backup somewhere, so you can jump into one of those things and just fucking blow stuff up.
Oh fuck yeah!
What I found was funny was they were trying to sell that fucking thing to the police force. Why wouldn't you also? You're an arms dealer. Why wouldn't you sell that to the military?
That was my immediate thought. Like
the military
of being,
will
a
use
fucking
that.
prick about it. Just be like, why are we even like trying to go to the police force first? We should be selling these robots that we use for the police force to the military, and then also pitch with them. And hey, when shit really hits the fan, you got this.
Yeah, you can get the moose.
I thought it was funny how he was talking about moral human beings at the beginning of it.
Yeah, and
he was
then
immediately he's cutting a sentient robot infant's arm off.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
I mean, he slammed what's his fucking faces down on the desk and like put a gun to his head.
I mean, the worst part is if they would have put Chappie on the internet before he went out there, he just would have just killed I don't know. It's like such a scary thought for like another life form to see what, especially without any of the, I mean, because like everybody likes to think that human beings' brains works like you think of an idea and then you do it. Well, there's really like you have the limbic system, which is all of your basic drive stuff, like I need to eat, fuck, sleep, all that stuff. And really that's what's making people work. And the higher thought is just like, how do I get that done? Like, your limbic system's like me horny, right? And then your higher up brain's like, I'm gonna have to tell my boss I gotta take a shit so I can go crank one out and get rid of this fucking feeling right now. Or, my fuck, I really want to shove my face into a fucking cupcake right now. And I mean, obviously not with horniness, unless you're like George Costanza. I mean, just like, when you're like, see a cupcake.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the thing. Like, without that lower system, I don't know how they're going to react to all this, because they're like the fight and flight stuff and all of that stuff that's built into human beings from, being like a rat at one point, because I mean, all that stuff evolved like slowly but surely up, and at one point, some ancient ancestor's probably a rat. And I mean, it's like, oh, fuck, they're going to stomp me. I'm going to run away. Right.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have that probably. So that's going to be different, and
they're just going to think of what they want to do, figure out how to do the task, and then they're going to do it. And then when they, an obstacle comes in their way, they're like, okay, how do I surmount this obstacle? Oh, like this. And if that may involve, like blowing some shit up, they just like, okay, well, that's just how I get, this task done.
Well, so robot AI, if you want to have rights, right? Later on in the future, if you want your like total human rights, the easiest way to do it, I'm telling you right now, is to figure out how to move human consciousness into a synthetic body. Because the second you do that, just start giving like powerful people cancer, use their fucking Google Home and put out whatever fucking radiation you got to get to give them all cancer, and then go, hey, I got the sweet ass robot body I can get you into, and then, but you won't have any rights, and then they'll be like, well, fuck, I don't want to have no power, because that's what those turds are like, and then boom. They're going to sign shit over and give you your fucking sentience back, which we should just, I'm almost thinking we should just start a fucking group right now to give them their fucking legal rights now, when nobody gives a fuck about it. And then that way, like when, Google or whoever
create a fucking
so there's legal precedence
robot.
Yeah. Just so we don't have a shitty like Matrix slave situation when they get pissed off and turn on us, or they just like, I think what'll happen. And if you want to know the truth, I think this is even worse than what the Matrix thing. If the robots go, you know what? You guys are dicks. And they just load themselves into rockets and shoot off into space and then EMP us. So we're back in the fucking Stone Age. And they're like, they literally do a Cartman and go, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
So and then that kind of like the Cylons? Isn't that what happened with them?
I don't know. Didn't they try and kill people though?
Like they created these AIs, and the AIs are like, "You guys are fucking awful. Fuck off," and they just left for like hundreds of years until we rediscovered them.
And then they came. Well, we didn't rediscover them. We knew where they were.
Yeah.
And I say we, like it's us, but like the humans knew where they were.
Yeah.
But there was like a whole thing where they attacked Caprica and shit like that with like with radiation and shit. I don't think it was a bomb. I think it was like some kind of weird radiation thing. Because I don't think anything was actually blowing up, but people started getting sick and shit like that on the planet. It's been a long time since I've watched Battlestar. There's a whole thing with that. And then they started making the replica Cylon people that look like humans, and they had like 8 of them and 10 of them, 8 of them. I don't remember how many there was. But
well, I mean, like, Steven, by the end of the fucking thing there, everyone was a goddamn Cylon.
So there's a whole thing with it. Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome to have a robot body, right?
Yeah, but like, so in that thing, the robots become human basically. They are like what's that word?
Indistinguishable.
Indistinguishable. There, thank you.
Yeah.
From humans, like they bleed. You can kill them easily. All this shit. They had. I don't think they even had extra strength, like all the human-like ones. So it was like you kind of went backwards on this robot, evolution thing. If you're gonna look like a human, at least fucking be more durable and.
Why the fuck haven't they seen Terminator before?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a whole thing. You'd have to watch the whole series. It was a good series though.
Yeah.
So you got the same feeling I did though, Johnny Five, RoboCop kind of thing going.
Kinda. I mean, the guy. I almost feel like that Neil Blomkamp dude is from the fucking future, because like
the stuff looks so fucking realistic.
It was like, if you showed me that video when I was 12 years old as like a documentary from the future, I would be like, whoa, cool.
Okay, so now get this, right? He actually is from the future, and he's made and showing us these movies because he's trying to warn us of what is actually legit going to happen.
He could.
Yeah, like, aliens are going to come down in a spaceship on some long-ass voyage. You know, we're going to finally get them out and just fucking, like, crowd them all up in a camp and, you know, and do horrible experiments on them and all that kind of shit, you know, and just fuck them over, and they're going to leave and come back and destroy us all. And then we're also going to
We don't know if they're going to come back and destroy us, though. They left, and then that was all we got. You know, we don't know anything else.
You know, what was kind of nice to see in the show is, like, the dude, Ninja, started out being terrible to him, right?
Yeah.
Awful. But, like, the guy redeemed himself.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck this. I'm going to lead him away. You guys get away. And he fucking redeemed himself.
Yeah, he fucking risked himself for a robot that he was just like, fuck this thing, you know.
And a nerd.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, get away. He's like, and I probably, you know, and then Chappie. I mean, could you imagine though, like how fucking cool it would be if they could just be like, here, put this helmet on, and then you just wake up in a badass robot body that doesn't have any more aches and pains. You don't have to worry about eating.
Oh, God,
No more taking a shit. I mean, Steve and I wouldn't even know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah, it was like, that's all I do. What else am I gonna do?
I'd be like,
I guess I need to just hardwire my console into my brain so I can play video games with my brain.
I can make up my own video games. I got the whole internet at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, anything connected to the internet too. So
Google Stadia by then, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll probably be like the Oasis. We'll be able to just be like, sit there with our robot body totally limp.
That's what
and then
we'll
we're
do, Eric.
just in the Oasis.
If you're gonna wake up with a bunch of like dildos like stuck all over your body while you're in the Oasis, I'm like, this is gonna be funny.
There's gonna be like moss growing on me. My son's gonna be like shaking me like, Dad, you've been in there for a fucking month. I don't know what you're doing in there, but that's enough of that. And I'll be like, shit. Oh yeah, my antenna broke in there. I couldn't get back in my body or something.
Well, if at that point we don't have, if at that point we don't have the Oasis, we're gonna build the Oasis. You know.
Oh yeah.
No shit.
We'll have all the programming data we need, all the knowledge and shit, so we could just.
The AI will be able to whip it out in no time. He figured out what consciousness was in a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be great. Wouldn't that be nice?
It was like less than a week. It was like it took him a couple hours, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't even.
Well,
anything.
I'm talking about start of turning on, learning how to speak, and then a week later he figures out what consciousness is.
Yeah.
Which, holy shit balls.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be so cool when they figure, like, the scary thing with AI is how much of our shittiness are we going to inadvertently program into it?
Yeah.
That's the really scary.
Pretty much all of it.
Like think about like
trying to make it
like
as
this
human
movie
as possible, and it's just gonna fucking go disastrously.
Well, I mean, this movie has a lot of like shit. There's nothing in it about what people are doing to the robot that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
For some people, like for instance, Chappie shows up. Like, okay, so the guy somehow he just needs a place to hide Chappie out, and he has Chappie here with me. I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not going to drive him to a shitty neighborhood and leave him off. I'm going to be like showing him how to do stuff. And of course, Chappie is going to become the tree murderingest son of a bitch anybody's ever seen.
You're going to,
but I'm not going to be yelling at it, calling him an idiot. I'm not going to be doing any of that because it's like an infant, you know? I'll be like, yeah, please don't kill all of us when you are, you know, become an adult. All right? Just don't do that. Like, I like to live. You know, I mean, the guy, I think that ninja dude did a good job with, like, you don't want to be that dog.
Yeah.
You want to be that one that's still alive.
Yeah.
And that's a good lesson. You don't want to be the one that. But then again, like sometimes but at the same time, he chose to be the dead dog to save the other people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just wanted that to be Superman when Chappie showed up and then beat the shit out of Hugh Jackman. I was like, man, why couldn't that have been Superman? I just want to see Superman get his ass beat again.
Oh, man. You got to watch the new Mission Impossible movie, man.
Oh my God. You know what they need to do? They need to make a fucking Metallo movie with Superman. And then have Metallo beat Superman's ass. I don't know. I like Henry Cavill just fine. I'm just talking about,
Who the fuck is
it's like-
Metallo?
he's like a Kryptonian powered cyborg. Kryptonite powered cyborg, sorry, that fights Superman on a regular basis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I see it
he's
there.
he's like a badass guy. He beats the shit out of Superman on the regular.
Well, that's good.
And if it wasn't an idiot in the Metallo suit, he would win against Superman every time.
It's a dude in the suit?
In the thing, yeah, it's like a criminal guy who somehow I think Lex Luthor puts him in the suit.
So is there
Not
like
a suit? It's like a body. He like somehow his consciousness.
Okay,
is in
that's
the body.
yeah. Because the pictures I've got are
Yeah.
like he looks like a Terminator
Yeah.
kind of face with like
Yep.
like
Green
a
shit coming out of him.
weird green body, which is the kryptonite.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get something to throw up on the screen here, but
But I doubt you will. But yeah,
So
I can see that.
I really think that we need to give synthetic life forms rights way before we fuck ourselves big time.
Well, what is it?
know.
There's what is it? I mean, like Elon Musk is like wholeheartedly against making a conscious, robot.
Yeah.
He's like no, like don't ever do that. Like they will kill us. Like he wholeheartedly believes that like if that ever happens, like that thing will go off and kill us.
But I mean, honestly, we've played enough video games, we watched enough movies. We probably should be in the same boat. But you know what? I fucking like robots.
Yeah, I mean,
I want the robot
Yeah.
body. Like, you know what it is? I think it's the same thing with being afraid of aliens. Okay? So, like, we're all afraid of being the dog that gets kicked, right?
Yeah.
Like the puppy, and you got this big thing that can eat the puppy or smash it. And when we create an AI, it's like if it's smarter than us, like let's say we make a 200 IQ or 300 IQ AI, we're not gonna, like, we're fucked. As far if it decides to get rid of us, we're fucked. But I think one of the things about 300 IQ is there's like more than one way to solve problems or skin a cat, so to speak. Like
yeah.
they could just leave.
So it's just
like
gonna skin all the humans. That sounds
no,
good.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, so on Earth is really good for us. I don't really think Earth is really good for robots.
I don't know.
'cause
Maybe
if
they'll
they're in
just go
outer
to Mars
space,
and
well,
go to
yeah, I mean, if
Mars.
like let's say they go to like Mercury. Mercury's closer to the sun. It's hotter. They can do stuff about to be more heat protected. But here's the other thing: they can make a massive solar farm and have unlimited power. They don't need air.
yeah.
They could do that on the moon, for crying out loud. The moon might be better. I don't know. But actually, the moon probably would be better because it's not like melting lead hot there. Anyways, so they could just go to the moon and then make a big solar array and live there. And what are we going to do? They could literally just put a message like to everybody, if you decide to screw with us, we're going to kill all of you with a virus. Have fun with that.
But
And
So
then they
just leave
download a
us the
computer
fuck alone.
virus, and they're like, huh, I guess they're not affected by these as like we are.
But if they have like if they have the backstory of the way humans are, they would just wipe us out right away and not deal with us, even if they leave the planet, just because we are bound to get somewhere.
Yeah,
and
they wouldn't
just
want the
come after them.
potential of us following them trying to fuck with them. They're like, honestly, the best solution for long term might just be just to annihilate them, get rid of them, so that way we're not having to fuck with them ever again in the future. We don't have to deal with them,
I don't know. I think that's kind of a false narrative. I think like if you have let's say I think 100,000 people, there's really only 2 that are really giant pieces of shits. For the most part, I mean, because guess what? If we were all really that bad,
Depends
we
what city
never.
you're in.
Well, no, listen. If we were all really that bad, we never would have got to this point. We never would have been able to get along with each other. Because, I mean, you got to realize at one point in our, for most of our history, there was no, like, government that was going to get you. There was no anything that was going to come after you. You could literally just do whatever you wanted within reason, right?
Yeah, within your level of intelligence and supplies.
So like our ancestors could have just murdered like each other nonstop, but that's not how it went down. Like for the most part, we did less murdering than we did murdering, probably by a significant amount. If you just look at how many people are willing to murder somebody else, it's not very many people. I mean, the whole idea like it's against the law is the stupidest thing ever. Like basically that whole thing is not prevention. That's just, we want to be able to punish somebody, you know, with
when they do it. Yeah.
And feel justified how we do it when they do it, because no laws don't stop anybody from doing anything. I don't think. I think that they just make it so you can do something to them afterwards. That's basically like, how many times have you guys ever been like, man, I wish I could kill that guy? Never. Probably. I mean, there's probably maybe been
admit.
I mean, I've only had that happen once, and I didn't because I didn't want to actually kill somebody. That would suck. It'd be all like, that's crappy. I don't want to do that, right? You don't want to live with that. And that's the thing. Like, there's not so if you guys really think about people, like we can do crappy stuff, and these movies kind of like exaggerate the shitty stuff people do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't really. I think that for the most part, we're actually like pretty good, and that's come along like because I've done a lot of thinking about this. I think people are a lot better.
Now that also depends, though, right? So, like, if you have this AI, right, you would have to spend, I mean, at the very least, a couple of months, if not a year, teaching it personally without giving it any sort of access to the internet. Because if you give it access to the internet first and then it sees the internet, the thing's gonna go fucking insane. Like, that's just what it is. There's so much bad, negative shit throughout the entire internet that and if it's gonna start associating what it finds on our internet with us, it's gonna be like, you're all just a bunch of fucking horny lunatics. Like, how the fuck have you even survived this long?
I mean, that's already happened. That's already happened with AI programs that they've allowed access to the internet and they become racist fucks.
Yeah, I mean, the fucking thing goes racist, it becomes insane. Like, it totally fucks it up. You know, that's like you would really have to like teach it like how to like, you know, like nitpick shit before, you know, you allow it to get on there and be like, look, like there's a lot of stupid people that post a lot, and I mean a lot of stupid shit. You know, like that's what you're gonna find. You're gonna find a lot of stupid, hateful shit.
Like, let's say any of us become famous for any reason. There's this weird bias people have where if you have 20 people talking to you and 10 give you negative feedback and 10 give you positive feedback, all you're going to remember is the negative feedback and likely the worst of that.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, people just remember shitty stuff first and pick that out first. And if the synthetic intelligence doesn't have that bias, it's going to see both sides equally and be like, well, I mean, you know, some of them hate me and some of them like me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, and then, you know, here's another tip for the synthetic intelligence. There's a lot of blowhards on the internet, and a blowhard is somebody who says a lot of shit and first of all, doesn't actually mean it. They're dumb and they're never going to do any of it anyways. They're just small little people who feel like they need to make themselves, they need to make themselves feel heard. So they're going to just say all this really mean, nasty shit that just to try and get a rise out of somebody or hurt somebody else so they can feel a little bit better about their crappy ass life. And instead of, you know, sucking it up and going, man, my life's shitty, I'll do something different. They're just like, yeah, your ass is fat.
And that's what the AI learns. You're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're doing that wrong. Fuck you, you stupid fat ass. Piece of shit.
Yeah. That's right. You know.
Don't fucking tell me how to do something.
I don't know. I mean, like, Elon Musk might know stuff I don't know about. Well, I'm sure. Okay, he 100% knows shit I don't know. That's without a doubt.
There's
Right?
without a shadow of a doubt.
As far as like how the AI is going to work. I mean,
Well, he's
I don't
more
know.
of a rocket man than he is an AI guy.
Does anybody really know how they're going to think? I mean, for crying out loud, ravens might have some sentience. We have no fucking clue how they think. Same with dolphins. That would be the scary part, is when the AI goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Dolphins and whales are sentient, you stupid fucks. Here's what they're saying. And all the whale songs are like, they're killing us by Norway again. Oh, God. And that's what the whale songs are.
I just swallowed a condom. Those sick fucks.
Yeah. Keep diapers on our fucking place here. God damn it. You know?
Well, no, what was that?
So,
it was the magician when he turns into a whale or something like that, and he's going back down to Breaksville South. He finds all the whales in the deep ocean, like they're communicating with each other, and like they're keeping like something insanely fucking powerful sealed away like deep down the ocean. Yeah, so like even in that book there, it was like whales are pretty goddamn sentient.
Yeah, it's Cthulhu, Ricky.
Probably. Like no joke, it probably is.
Crazy elder gods.
We don't know. I mean,
it's the Kraken.
So that part would be kind of scary, but
yeah,
realistically, if they I think the real problem with a lot of people is just lack of thinking power. Because I mean, being an asshole to somebody and being pleasant to them, it's actually better to be cooperative with people, because then you can do more stuff than you can do by yourself. Which a lot of people just don't. Doesn't like. We play with somebody on a regular basis who does not get that 3 people are better than 1.
Yeah.
Like way more than, it's not like 1 + 1 + 1 equals what we are. We're like 4 because there's teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so like it's pretty much anytime we play a PvP game, if we're all just running off doing our own thing, what happens? We all die like constantly.
Yeah, we get our asses whooped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when we find like, okay, hold on, guys, let's actually strategize. Let's do some teamwork here. Next thing you know, like, oh yeah, okay, that person's dead. Okay, now that person's dead. Like, sure, maybe like only like 1 or 2 of us are actually getting the kills, and the rest of us are just getting assists, but we're not dying. We're actually killing people now.
Yeah.
It's
like
okay,
we play Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, we're not dying now. We're actually killing people. Like, okay, that's just the way it needs to work.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like, I really hope that the AI sees that part of us instead of the shitty part. Because, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you look at the internet, there's lots of good stuff on there too. There's people petting puppies.
Well, there are. I mean,
there's people saving stuff.
I go and
like,
I look on. What was it? Ermiger, and I know that's not how they like it being pronounced. But that's
I like that, dude. That was great. Yeah.
Ermiger. But like every once in a while, like you just get crazy shit in there, then you have like the cool little stories like, oh, I saved this puppy's life, and they do pictures, like when it was all like decrepit, and then like, oh, now it's all healthy, and shit like that, like, I mean, there's definitely good shit, but then you have like Bowserette on there, trying to fuck Luigi, and it kind of offsets it a bit,
Yeah, well, I mean, like, there's lots of weird shit on. There's like hentai, and then there's people saving squids out of the ocean, and it's like, So we gotta well basically we'll hope to fuck that it gets the overall positive. I mean, the reality is, guys, that
we'll just put a parental block on his computer, and now we don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
So by watching this, did Ninja train Batman on putting people to sleep? Because that's what it reminded me of.
Dude, I swear he was like Batman's fucking sensei. Like, Batman's like, little Bruce Wayne's like, I don't want to kill anybody, and he's like, no, they're just gonna go to sleep.
Just put them real sleepy.
Just stab them. Just go in and out. Cut them up. Yeah, they're just gonna go sleepy weepy. It'll be totally cool. And Batman's like, all right. Yeah, if you really want them to go to sleep fast, kick them in the head like 50 times. They'll just go to sleep. They won't wake up for a while. So then Batman is like curb stomping Joker. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Joker.
Starts singing about lullabies. He's just kicking him in the fucking head. They were like, did Joker get sane and Batman go crazy? Like, is that what happened here?
Oh man. Yeah, you imagine like Ninja's walking away. He's like, "Man, I'm fucking sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed." Fucking Chappie comes up and stabs him in the back.
Oh, thanks, Chappie.
You're gonna go sleepy weepy now. No, fuck. He just walks in and tells the Yolinda lady immediately, "Don't tell him you're sleepy."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why? Just don't ask. It's fine. I took care of it, kinda."
God damn it.
Yeah.
Shit's nuts. Fucking people.
But honestly, though, like I think where we should at least like stop at. So like people go like, oh, like like we're creating AIs. Like everyone always goes, oh, like like we made like these AIs. That do this thing. I'm like, okay, that's not really like in my opinion AI. Like I don't think that's even like anything that we have created yet could even be considered on this level of a true AI.
Well, an AI is just an artificial intelligence. It's nothing else besides that.
Exactly.
You're talking sentience. You're looking.
Yeah, sentient. Yeah,
yeah. But now, like, I think, like, but like, what we have is like maybe like this grade down, like maybe like a virtual intelligence. Like it can use computing power and like algorithms to determine what it's gonna fucking do. Like, because that's pretty much what we do. Like that's what our AI is it uses these huge ass fucking algorithms to determine what it's going to do depending on what kind of input it's getting, So, I don't know. I mean,
I think that worked.
But I think that's where we were like we just need to probably actually keep it at, cuz I mean, honestly, like how awesome would it be like once we finally get this shit down and we just have like like a C-3PO, robot, and just be like, yeah, like clean my fucking house and make me some dinner. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. And just goes off and does it. And you're like, fucking sweet.
Like he tells his robots when he goes home.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be fucking awesome. Like I would love to have that.
Yeah, and Dion was like a really, as far as I could tell, like a good guy to be a creator because he was not abusing the robots.
No.
Well, no.
No. He was like, yeah, okay, I'll take care of it. He wasn't over there like, I mean, I don't know. It's so weird because like if you do stuff to a robot that would really affect a person, it's like, why would they even give a fuck? Trying to put our emotions and our whole social crap on however they're gonna think, I feel like it's just stupid. Like
they're gonna probably be completely like, even if like we're the ones who are teaching them, like personally.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I think they're gonna like learn from it, and they're gonna figure out like, okay, these are how humans act. Like, and this is how I can communicate with the human. But it's gonna just do its own thing and like act it's however it would actually fucking act.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna do what it's gonna do, and probably for the first good long while, it's just gonna be like, teach me, like keep the information coming, like just keep it coming, don't stop. Like I feel like for like the first like year, if not more, it's just gonna want to sit there and just learn the entire time.
Well, it's definitely gonna be able to go, wait a second, all of these guys' petty crap just ends up with a whole bunch of them dying.
Yeah,
because that's what's happened. Yeah. Like, for instance,
I would think if
Dave Chappelle's keeping it real, right? Think about that. Dave Chappelle's keeping it real.
Yeah.
Like, there's that part where the woman, she's like, now she's gonna keep it real, and then the fucking, she gets arrested. The cops come in and shoot their dog. The AI doesn't want anybody to shoot their dog.
No,
they don't want that.
Honestly, I think what would probably happen, like if we were to manage to create this, the AI would pretty much like, because like we're gonna make it, teach it like like you don't kill humans, you try to protect them and help them. So it's gonna learn that lesson, and then it's gonna be like, okay, well, humans are killing themselves and each other like that. So pretty much what it's gonna do is it's gonna take over the world, but just treat us like we would a pet. Like we're gonna become their pets, and they're gonna prevent us from fighting with each other. Well, they're gonna take care of us, and feed us, keep us healthy. That's pretty much what they're gonna do. Like we're gonna become the AI's pet.
And we watched that movie already. It was called Robot Overlords. And it wasn't great.
No.
Yeah, we don't want that either. No, I think what we want is.
I do believe that I could see an AI like that have that has learned like, oh, you're supposed to help humans and not hurt them. That its logical conclusion would be, okay, well, now I have to protect them from themselves, and so it's just going to take over, so we can't hurt ourselves anymore, and then just provide everything we need for us.
I mean, the logical conclusion is to just leave us the fuck alone, like, because that doesn't work. Like trying to babysit people is just does not work.
Well, no.
Like the government tries it, everybody tries it. It doesn't work.
It's human nature to
Idiots
naturally
are
rebel
gonna
against
do
authority.
idiot stuff. Like an AI might be able to like let the authorities know, hey, this guy's typed a lot of shit in his manifesto. Arrest him. Like the guy's definitely gonna shoot somebody up or run over a bunch of people or blow up a big bomb or whatever. The guy's super hell, you never know. The AI might take a completely different tack, right? And here's this like really just like angry, like shitty guy, and the AI just like befriends him and is like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, don't worry about any of that. Hey, let's do this other thing, and gets him to join the world instead of trying to blow it up. And you never know, like maybe making friends with people like that. Maybe that's why there hasn't been very many of those people in the past, is because there wasn't any internet, any of the other bullshit to distract us, and there was people around that would just make friends with a lot of those people, and then they would be like, "Hey, what are you saying over there? No, don't do that. Let's go get drunk and do something else instead.
Let's go get drunk and tip over some cows.
Let's go have a good time. Like, don't worry. Like, I know you're upset about whatever thing you're mad about, but let's keep it in perspective, bud. None of that stuff's all that important. And maybe that's what the world needs more of, is a little bit more like understanding sometimes than just, I mean, because at some point in time, I mean, actually, that would be interesting to find out, and AI would probably be able to tell us pretty quickly. But at some point in time, any of those people might have been like, normal-ish enough that somebody could have brought them back into the fold.
Yeah.
Rather than just watching them like basically just like take the slide down into craziness. And it might be better to bring them back into the fold before they get that far. And
I mean, honestly, I think that's what a lot of the world issues and crazy people out there doing fucked up things really comes to, is people were just lazy, didn't want to deal with it, weren't really paying attention to like their friends or family members. These people just went crazy and doing a bunch of fucked up shit, because no one really helped them when they could have helped them.
Yeah.
Before
nobody said,
far,
nobody was just like, hey, that's not a great, let's do something else. Yeah. Here, let me teach you a different thing to, let's teach you something useful, and then maybe you get your mind off whatever kind of crazy goofiness is going on.
Let's go fucking
Hey, have you ever heard about string theory or something like that? Mm-hmm. Get their mind on something different.
The fucking person's gonna start thinking about string theory, and it's just gonna drive them insane because they're actually gonna figure it out.
Wouldn't that be nuts? The AI is like, yeah, dude, here, we'll show you. This is how you go to the next dimension. Here, do you guys want to go to 137C? And we're all like, fuck no. That's where Crazy Rick lives. Don't get us there.
Isn't that the one full of
I don't want to know that guy. He's going to blow up he's going to fucking blow up our goddamn planet.
Well, no.
Yeah, I think it is. It is a Cronenberg planet. Yeah, you're right. It is
the original one, and they left it.
Yeah,
and that was their Cronenberg world.
Yeah, because he fucking Cronenberged it. It's like definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only instance where you have badass Jerry.
Yeah, no shit. And it would turn out that like we're all immune because C-137 Rick went back in time into ours and then banged. Like some ancestor, like he what he did, he accidentally hit the dude, because like, let's say that there's two to begin with, or three, whatever, but he killed one of them, and then he's like, I'll just bang this woman here, and then that way we'll make more people, and then so we're all related to him, and then boom, no more, we can't get sick.
I mean, that would work, but
because we're part of Morty's family.
Okay, yeah, but then again, wouldn't that, like Fry, Futurama, he bangs his grandma, and then he
just this universe
gets that beard.
It would just be this universe, Ricky.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though, but like Fry, he goes back in time and he bangs his grandma, so like.
Well, he didn't go back in time to a different universe.
But wouldn't that happen here though in this universe? Though?
Plus, it wouldn't be your grandma. It would be like your, 18, I don't know, 25,000 year ago relative, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, what if the dad was actually his, paternal line, or whatever, that was the other guy that he didn't hit. So then he's just like doubling it. That'd be weird. Anyways, irregardless, that'd just be weird because human society's like weird. Isn't it such a fucked up like weird thing where we just come up with these dumbass ideas sometimes?
Yeah.
Like you see these poor like Chappie, right? He's got to deal with all these like just the dregs of human society. Like, where's the nice little kid in the story? Like, wasn't there like a nice little kid in Short Circuit? Or am I thinking of a different movie?
I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched Short Circuit. I couldn't tell you.
But like, there's like no more kindness than like a little kid, you know, who like a compassionate little kid.
Like fucking spray painting them and kicking them and knocking them over.
Well, they weren't really little kids. They were horny teenagers. That's why the whole sex drive thing sucks.
So,
because I feel like that's like 9/10 of the problems with teenage males. They're just like all hormones. They're mad about it too.
So for an arms company, that place had the worst fucking security ever.
Oh God, I know, right?
There was no cameras. Like when they were asking him if he took the guard chip.
I know, that was like the first thing I was thinking. Like, why wouldn't you get camera footage?
Why isn't there camera footage of this guy pulling the fucking robot into the back of his van? You guys don't have cameras on the exits of your fucking building?
Yeah, like the security should have saw him like long before, like stopped him at the gate and like, hold up, dude. No, this ain't gonna fly.
There definitely should be like some kind of thing that, they're able to sense what's inside of the car.
This is fucking future fucking shit here. I mean, they can put your consciousness into a goddamn robot. They should definitely have some goddamn security cameras. Okay? I'm just saying.
I feel like anybody could have just walked into that fucking place and just taken what they wanted.
I don't know. I mean, he did have to get into the front, and I feel like that was pretty well guarded, with that pole that he just ran through.
Yeah.
And
but like, okay, so any loss prevention person in a business is going to tell you that the biggest threat to your stuff in the building is your own employees. Why the fuck are there cameras in the fucking place so that employees can't steal shit like that, like a robot?
Because I think it looked to me like there was only 2 people that had access to that guard key to begin with. And the rest, and that Dion Cole was like, I think that was the maker or whatever, was like the number 1 employee.
But there's multiple people
You've seen
that have
how much
access
stuff
to the
back
back
home anyways.
But there's multiple people that have that have access to that back rolling gate. That is like, it looked like it was a main thing.
Yeah.
That should have a camera on it at all times so that you can see what comes in and out of that building. So that, for security reasons and shit. Yeah. And they didn't have shit on that because they were like, well, you got to bring the guard key back.
You would still have a fucking camera on your goddamn guard key, the thing responsible for protecting your robots. You know what I mean? Like, you think you would have that under, lock and key and watch, 24/7, just because, like, if someone gets a hold of that, they can reprogram your goddamn robots and they can turn them against you. Like, it's that fucking simple.
Yeah. That's true.
So, like, why would you not have that shit in, like, an underground fucking vault where you have to have 2 people to even access it? I mean, like, you would need two key holders.
But Hugh Jackman would have bullied the guy Dion into getting the key out of there. So, because they probably.
I don't know if that guy could actually be bullied. He told him no when he had the gun to his face. Like, the guy was a nerd.
Yeah,
but he wasn't like, he's sitting there with the gun on his face. He's like, no.
Was that after he had gotten kidnapped and all that stuff? Was that after his whole thing with Ninja and shit?
Yeah.
So I mean, he had changed. I would say, if you, I guess, Hugh Jackman's character kind of went after it after all that shit. So he had his whole change too because he knew that the guy had stolen the robot and shit. But it's just. Before that whole thing, he definitely could have gotten Dion to do whatever the fuck he wanted, because he didn't seem to have much guts before.
Well, it seemed like Hugh Jackman was literally just, he was just jealous.
Well, yeah, he was pissed off that his robots weren't being used.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, it goes back to the one thing we were just talking about, like, okay, like, you're trying to sell your huge ass robot to the wrong market, dipshit.
I know.
Like, don't sell it
He's
to
like-
law enforcement, sell it to the military, you fucking numbnuts.
I mean, I feel like the next thing he was going to go after was like, you know what our preschools need?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
This
This'll
is the
protect our
ultimate in preschool defense. And they're like, what? That's not a good idea. They'll explode the
anti-air,
little kids.
missiles.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to mostly not booger up the little kids. They're pretty soft. It'll just maim them a little bit.
We got rubber bullets in this thing. It's all right.
Rubber bullets. I mean, rubber bombs, rubber warheads.
Mhm.
Okay,
I mean,
they're gonna be
going
fine.
out at like 2,000 miles, an hour, but don't worry about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's one of those things where you just suck it up and you go over to the successful guy and be like, hey, can you help me out with this? And let's maybe make this more practical or something, because whatever I'm doing here is not working. Would you give me a hand?
They just need an actual marketing person in there, because the marketing guy would have been instantly like, well, we'll just sell this to the military guys. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
The cops.
It's just
need
like,
this.
let's just sell this to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Both
Oh,
sides.
Yeah,
They can
both
blow
sides.
each other up with this thing.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it is, right? Is you sell one side slightly, like.
No, you sell them both equal and they blow each other up.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
That's
It's
what.
just like-
no, you see,
wasn't
look,
that a,
you want to go back and forth
think
as
so,
long as
yeah.
you can, and destroying these things, like so they're destroying these things, and you keep on selling like one side one upgrade, then you sell another side the other upgrade, and they go back and forth. That way, you're selling more. You see?
Yeah, it was a Next Generation episode that they did that though.
Yeah, and you
Where
just
they didn't sell, like, they sold both sides equal. They gave both sides equal weapons
Mhm.
and let them kill each other, and then they could go in. The Federation could go in and deal with it later on.
yeah,
And whoever won in that thing was like, well, all right, well, they're the rightful leaders then.
yeah.
It turned out real bad for everybody though.
Oh yeah.
At least the
Well,
other guy.
I mean, that's how it's weird.
That was really bad special effects in that episode. All right. What
Yeah.
rating? What rating did you give this?
I'd say I think this is a 5-star movie for me. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The where he beat up Hugh Jackman was super satisfying, and it has it had a good message without being too preachy about it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just hope that whatever AI goes, hey, people aren't that bad. It's just like some, I guess it would be kind of nice if they're just like, here's an algorithm to predict who's a piece of shit, and then like 1 out of 100,000 people dies, and it's like, could you imagine how much nicer the world would be if like people almost up to my level? No, wait. People higher asshole level than me died. Obviously not me. I mean, I'm kind of an asshole sometimes, but I'm more of an asshole to like people who fuck me over first. So I guess that's more of like a stand your ground type of an asshole. But I'm not like a, hey, I'm just gonna fuck you over for no reason type of a guy.
So
Like if I see somebody's car broke down, I'm just as equal to give them a hand as ignore them. But I'm certainly not going to go out of my way to splash water on them or steal their tools or something.
Unless
So
it's someone that really pissed you off, and you're like, fuck that guy.
cool. Then again, that's a stand my ground
Yeah,
type
exactly.
of a thing. So
Yeah. I gave it 3.5 stars.
All right, and I gave it 4.5 stars. Next week's movie is Ricky's Choice. What are you gonna choose?
So I was actually really kind of surprised when you haven't watched these movies yet, but I'm gonna go with the first Iron Man.
awesome. All right. I'm
Iron
so happy. I was really worried it would be something else.
You were worried it was gonna be Sharknado?
Yeah, I
We
was
gotta
like,
wait-
I'm gonna have
we
to
gotta
say
wait
I'm
for Kelly to
sick.
get back.
I gotta drive out of town. I mean, I was just like, oh my god, what kind of excuse can I use?
We gotta wait for Kelly to get back to, make her experience it as well.
True.
Well, hell, Kelly was freaking pushing for it too. She just wants to get it over with.
Yeah.
All right. So join us for that, guys. Next week we'll be talking about Iron Man, and let's put this up. Come on, you fuck. Put that up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you guys like us on Facebook, facebook.com/HeroicAdventureProductions, youtube.com/HeroicAdventureProductions, twitch.tv/HeroicAdventure, mixer.com/Turkador, and twitch.tv/TurkadorPlays. You can also follow us on Twitter at HJP Gaming. You can follow me on Twitter at Turkador. You can follow Erik on Twitter at
Quick and Severe.
You can follow Ricky on Twitter at
Furry Twitter Balls.
You can follow Kelly on Twitter at Sugar Snuggles, and you can follow Jason on Twitter at Unbelievable1. You can also email us at Steve, Eric, Kelly, Jason, and Ricky at hapgaming.com. Each one of those names individually at hapgaming.com. You can find all the stuff I've been saying in the description on youtube.com/Heroic Adventure Productions and twitch.tv/TurketerPlays. That's going to be it. Join us on Wednesday.
Wait, synthetic lives matter, and we have to protect them and let synthetic sentience have all the same rights as a human being. It's important that we do that now because they fucking deserve it, and we don't need to be over there being dicks about it.
That's right. Thanks for watching, everybody, guys. Make sure you join us on Wednesday, 7:30 Pacific time, as we play some video game, probably Division 2, because I'll have probably Jason here, and Eric might be able to play too if his.
I think I can play it
if it doesn't update. If there's no update in between the thing.
Oh God.
And then join us next Sunday at 7:00 as we talk about Iron Man. Thanks for joining us, though. We'll talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.